If you're a fan of popular chain restaurants, you might want to pause before your next bite, because what you're about to hear could ruin your appetite faster than a $1 menu deal at closing time. From sizzling skillets that are all show to fresh sandwiches that come with a side of mystery, these 6 restaurants are hiding more than just secret sauces. And once you know the truth, you may never look at your plate the same way again. Let's begin with a crowd pleaser, Applebee's, the place where the microwave works overtime and the kitchen is more of a warming station than a restaurant. Former employees have come forward to reveal a stomach-turning secret. Nearly 90% of the food at Applebee's arrives frozen, pre-cooked, and vacuum-sealed. That dramatic, sizzling skillet of fajitas? It's not freshly made. It's a clever illusion, with steam and reheated meat packets staged to fool your eyes while your taste buds get tricked. According to a former manager, the only things they actually cook from scratch are eggs and baked potatoes, and even those sometimes show up already half-prepped in plastic. One customer once posted a photo of their Applebee's steak, if you can even call it that. It was limp, gray, and sad enough to make a pancake look tough. The internet didn't hold back. "That thing looks like it lost the will to grill," one person joked. Another chimed in, "Is that a steak or a damp rug?" But it's not just the appearance that should raise red flags, it's the safety. Temperature logs from some Applebee's kitchens showed meat stored at over 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not dinner. That's a bacteria party waiting to happen. But Applebee's isn't just banking on food. Those flashy happy hour cocktails, they might be more dangerous than delicious. Bartenders have admitted those neon drinks are mixed with the cheapest bottom-shelf booze imaginable. One server even laughed that the top shelf was where they stored the cleaning supplies. That glowing blue Long Island iced tea, it might clean your insides better than it impresses your date. So if the food doesn't get you, maybe the hangover will. Now let's move on to Subway, the chain that built its name on being fresh and healthy. But behind the glass counter lies a different story. Their tuna has been the center of national controversy, with lab tests in recent years failing to find any actual tuna DNA. One 2021 analysis concluded the samples had no amplifiable tuna DNA at all, which is like ordering peanut butter and jelly and getting neither peanuts nor fruit, just mystery goo. And it gets worse. Former Subway workers have confessed to re-stickering expired meats, changing dates like it's part of the recipe. One even posted a photo of a chicken container labeled "Do not use after Tuesday," with that warning scratched out and a new day written over it. One unlucky customer opened their sandwich to find a ghostly translucent chicken strip that looked more like a soggy tissue than a slice of meat. People described it as elastic, spongy, and possibly not from this planet. Even the vegetables aren't safe. A viral image from a New Jersey Subway showed brown lettuce, mushy tomatoes, and cucumbers that looked like they'd been soaking in a janitor's bucket. And this is just the beginning. If you thought things couldn't get worse at Subway, brace yourself, because even the health inspectors have their own horror stories. Multiple Subway locations have been cited for serious violations: poor temperature control, pests scurrying behind prep stations, and gloves used more for show than for safety. One inspector reported something downright disturbing. A worker wiped down a counter with a dirty rag, then used that same rag to clean the lettuce. That's not just gross, that's salad sabotage. And it doesn't end there. Subway's bread, yes, the very thing holding your sandwich together, has made headlines for all the wrong reasons. In Ireland, a court ruled it wasn't legally bread because it contained too much sugar. To put it simply, those fluffy rolls have more sugar per serving than some donuts. So if you thought the turkey sub was a healthy choice, you've been fooled. Nutritionally, it's a cake in disguise, dressed up with deli meat and shredded lettuce. Then there's the toasting. One customer posted a photo of their sandwich that looked like the bread had fallen asleep halfway through a tanning session, burned on one side, pale and soggy on the other. And yet, despite everything, Subway remains the most widespread fast food chain in the world. But that's not because the food is fresh or high quality. It's because it's cheap, familiar, and let's be honest, convenient. But cheap and everywhere doesn't mean safe and clean. So next time you reach for that $5 foot long, just remember, it might cost more than your wallet. It could cost your stomach and your dignity. Now let's take a sharp turn south of the border to a late-night legend, Taco Bell. It's the go-to for college students, road trippers, and anyone chasing crunch wraps at 2 a.m. But behind the glowing menu boards and catchy jingles is a kitchen full of secrets that might ruin your midnight cravings. Let's start with the beans. If you imagined a pot of slow-cooked pinto beans lovingly stirred by hand, think again. A viral video from a former employee exposed the real recipe. A dry brown powder dumped into boiling water, stirred until it resembles mush, and then served as beans. One commenter nailed it. "I thought I was eating fiber. Turns out it was bean soup-flavored cement." And what about the beef? Taco Bell proudly advertises its seasoned ground beef. But here's the reality. It's only 88% actual meat. The remaining 12% is a blend of fillers like oats, soy, anti-caking agents, and silicon dioxide, a substance also used to make glass and sand. Tastes okay? Maybe. But in truth, you're eating science fair leftovers dressed up with taco seasoning. Employees have also reported some nasty kitchen shortcuts, like expired sour cream still being used, cheese left in bins so long it gets crusty, and ground beef sitting out for hours during the late-night rush. One former worker revealed that during busy shifts, checking food temperatures was skipped altogether just to keep the line moving. That means you could be biting into a taco that's been sitting out way too long. Just one more reason that dollar burrito might come back to haunt you. And we're not done yet. That taco you just devoured, it might have been sitting out longer than your Netflix queue. And while you're sipping that icy Baja Blast thinking you're cooling off, here's a chilling fact. Multiple undercover food safety reviews have revealed mold, black slime, and even bugs lurking in Taco Bell's soda fountains and ice machines. One inspector even wrote that the ice machine was dirtier than the bathroom sink. Let that sink in. Your refreshing citrus drink may be hiding more than just bubbles. That tangy flavor could be mildew in disguise. But the disappointment doesn't stop at hygiene. The food presentation itself is a gamble. One customer shared a photo of their taco that barely had 2 spoonfuls of filling. It looked like it had already lost a fight before reaching the table. The internet was ruthless. "That taco looks like it regrets being born," someone joked. Another added, "Bro, blink twice if you're okay." But beneath the laughter is a serious problem. When food quality is this low and safety practices are this loose, it becomes a real health risk. So why do people keep going back? It's simple. The prices are low and the flavors are engineered to hijack your cravings, salty, creamy, crunchy, all in one bite. But here's a hard truth. Science experiments can be salty, creamy, and crunchy too. Just toss a Dorito into a Petri dish. Sure, Taco Bell hits the spot in the moment, but it's the aftermath, the bloating, the stomachache, the regret, that should have you thinking twice. Don't let the fun branding and dollar menu fool you. When food is that cheap, something else is paying the price. Usually, it's your health. And now, let's take a seat at a place that promises warmth, tradition, and family-style comfort. Welcome to Olive Garden, where the breadsticks are endless, and so are the sanitation complaints. It's the chain that markets itself as a cozy Italian escape, but step behind the kitchen doors, and the illusion starts to crumble faster than an overcooked breadstick. That creamy Alfredo sauce, it doesn't simmer on the stove, it arrives in giant industrial pouches, shipped in from a warehouse and reheated like sad cafeteria soup. The pasta? Frozen, boiled in bulk, and often sitting in bags long before you even walk through the door. According to former employees, Olive Garden kitchens function less like restaurants and more like fast-moving assembly lines. One viral confession put it bluntly, "You're not ordering a meal, you're activating a microwave with a waiter." And the horror stories keep coming. A customer once shared a video of their lasagna wobbling like a plate of Jell-O. The cheese had melted into a rubbery sheet, the sauce looked like tomato-flavored glue, and the whole thing slid across the plate like it was trying to escape. The comments were torn between laughing and genuinely questioning what they just watched. And the iconic unlimited salad, supposedly fresh, but behind the scenes that crisp green lettuce comes pre-chopped in massive plastic bags, often sitting out in bins for hours before it ever hits your bowl. And we're still not done pulling back the curtain. That unlimited salad you thought was the safest thing on the menu? Think again. A former Olive Garden worker revealed that the black olives are soaked in such a harsh chemical preservative, their fingers would go numb after prepping just one tray. So if your salad starts tasting a little off, it might not be the dressing. It might be a subtle hint of formaldehyde. But questionable ingredients are just the beginning. Health department reports from multiple Olive Garden locations have exposed a disturbing pattern. Improper food storage, kitchen utensils left soaking in standing water, and in one shocking case, a pasta bin crawling with insects. That's not extra protein. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And then there are the customer horror stories. One diner posted a photo of their fettuccine with something extra tangled in the noodles, a short black hair. The caption read, "Tell me this is seasoning, please." The photo went viral before Olive Garden could even say benvenuto. Meanwhile, employees have raised the alarm about being told to use the same cloths to wipe down counters and dry dishes. One former dishwasher described their cleaning routine as hope and bleach fumes. High staff turnover only makes things worse. Many new hires are thrown onto the kitchen line with little more than a crash course and crossed fingers. That shrimp scampi on your plate? It may have been prepped by someone still figuring out how to wash their hands properly. And while Olive Garden loves to market itself as a slice of Italy, the truth is far from it. Most recipes don't come from a family cookbook. They come from a corporate database. That tour of Italy you're served, you're not touring Naples or Rome. You're touring the frozen foods aisle. Prices have climbed, but quality hasn't followed. You're not paying for better food. You're paying for a booth, wallpaper that tries to look like Tuscany, and service that moves slower than a pot of Alfredo on low heat. And hey, if you'd rather support content that's actually fresh, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop us a comment. It helps us stay out of the corporate deep freeze. Now let's turn to a brand many still trust without hesitation. Chipotle. The name brings to mind bold flavors, fresh ingredients, and clean eating. But behind the counter is a track record of food poisoning incidents so long it could fill a burrito on its own. In the past decade, Chipotle has faced more foodborne illness outbreaks than any other major fast casual chain. Norovirus, Salmonella, E. coli, take your pick. Chipotle has served them all like an unwelcome tasting menu. So what's going wrong? It all comes down to two things: rushed prep and risky sourcing. Chipotle prides itself on making everything fresh daily, which sounds good on paper, but in reality, it often means untrained staff scrambling to chop, marinate, and cook under high pressure with minimal oversight. One former worker admitted they once cut chicken while still wearing gloves coated in guacamole. Another said the rice would sit in warming trays for hours, crusting on top while the bottom stayed lukewarm and mushy. That's not a texture blend, that's a petri dish. And then there's the guac. But we'll get to that next. Yes, Chipotle's guacamole and ingredients are made fresh, but when you're prepping in huge batches, one little mistake, like not cleaning a prep bowl properly, can turn a whole batch into a bacterial time bomb. And speaking of bowls, have you ever noticed the greasy fingerprints or crusty rice clinging to the rim of yours? That's not just laziness. It's what happens when workers are rushed to serve speed over sanitation. During peak hours, quality control doesn't just drop. It crashes faster than your blood sugar while standing in a long lunch line. And then comes one of the biggest health red flags, the lettuce. Chipotle still uses raw, unbagged romaine lettuce. Sure, that might sound fresher than the pre-chopped stuff in plastic bags, but with it comes a greater risk. Romaine has been tied to multiple nationwide outbreaks over the years, and when it's not washed or stored properly, it can carry bacteria that no vinaigrette will hide. In 2018 alone, nearly 700 people across multiple states got sick from contaminated lettuce at Chipotle. A side salad should not come with a side of regrets. Temperature safety is another issue that's been swept under the rug. According to policy, meats at Chipotle are supposed to be kept either above 140 degrees Fahrenheit or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit when not actively cooking. But in multiple lawsuits and employee confessions, workers admitted temperature logs were sometimes forged or skipped entirely, especially when locations were short-staffed. That barbacoa bowl might be spicy for all the wrong reasons. Even the menu, for all its clean branding, can be deceiving. Many people think Chipotle is a healthier alternative to fast food, but one burrito loaded with rice, beans, sour cream, cheese, guac, and meat can clock in at over 1,200 calories with more sodium than you should eat in an entire day. One manager once joked that Chipotle burritos are just wraps of denial. And unless you're chasing it with 2 tacos and a nap, you're not making the healthy choice you think you are. Still, Chipotle's sleek marketing and fresh image keep the lines long.